Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Writers Chat. I'm Johnny Alexander, and here with some of our community members. I'm so glad to have you all here. We're going to be talking about Christmas. So this is just going to be a pretty casual time, sharing some books and perhaps some movies that we like and that we want to let others know about. And so I'm going to kick us off. This is okay. I don't have the books with me because they're in Tulsa where I actually live, and I didn't bring them with me to Virginia where I am now and through the holidays. So unfortunately, this is just like black and white, and I'm not sure why, because it's got a beautiful green cover. This is a book I talk about every year at Christmas. Let Every Heart Prepare Him Room. It's an Advent devotional by Jean Wise, who was, one of our founders and co-host forever. And it's just a wonderful little book that just takes, every day. So I started it Sunday, and it kind of takes you through those weeks leading up to Christmas. And just, it's fun for me because I've read it, like I read it every year. So it's like being with Jeannie again, and it's in and the stories are kind of familiar because I've read them before, and yet it just gives me those little warm fuzzies and coziness. And it's just a beautiful little devotional about finding the real meaning of Christmas and not getting so caught up in commercialism and trying to do everything when that's just impossible. So I will be putting that link in the chat in a minute. And then let me see, I want to show you another one. This one I'm really proud of because I'm in it. This is A Thrill in the Air. It is the fifth Mosaic Christmas anthology. So as many of you know, I'm part of the Mosaic Collection authors. And to think that what started out as just like an idea, where several authors banded together to start publishing indie published books, but under this Mosaic Collection banner. And every year we do two anthologies, one at Christmas and one in the summer. And to think this is our fifth Christmas one, I mean, it's just fantastic to me that this is true. And so not all of us are in here, but because one of our rules is the Mosaic Collection is you have to be in at least one of the anthologies. So some people are in both, some choose one or the other. But I have a story in this one called Christmas Comes to Springlight, and it's the shortest story in the collection. And it's a silly story, but it's a fun story because it's like a play on word story. So I'm going to show you my cover too. I think it's in cover. So here's Christmas Comes to Springlight. So that's my little cover. So all the stories are about reconciliation between friends, siblings, and just that Christmas. So I'm going to put both those links in the chat and go to Norma, who also has a book to share.
I do. It's not super spiritual, although I do love good Christmas stories and devotions, declaring the right reason for this time of year. But I also like the old classics. And for as many years as I could remember, every December 1st, I would start reading. I don't know if y'all can see it. I have my, there we go. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And it's old, got the gold. But we would read that. My kids would, when they were little, they'd sit on the arms of the rocking chair and in my lap, and I'm holding the book way out here, which nowadays would be great, right? Because the older you get, the further the book needs to be. And that's always been one of our favorites. In fact, the other day, one of my sons asked me, "Hey, Mom, do you still have the book? I want to start reading that to my kids." And you never know what you do with your young children or grandchildren that one may decide later to take on as kind of a family tradition. So it's a classic, and they love reading Scrooge, and I change up my voice for each of the characters. You know how that goes. And so they loved it. That's really the Christmas book I wanted to share. One of my favorite Christmas movies is Christmas with the Cranks. And I just love it. I love how she's all caught up in all the hoopla, but really the point of it all is that it's all about family. And so, from a secular point of view, and I just like that one. I think it's really cute. So who's next?
Better unmute myself. Pam is next.
Okay, so this is a brand new anthology, Renewed Christmas Blessings. It's out now, technically comes out on Friday, and I have a nonfiction story in there called Christmas Came Anyway, based on the year that I was struggling with a lot of depression, anxiety, and I didn't decorate for Christmas. And it was also the year our cats decided we couldn't put, anything on the tree either. So we had a bare artificial Christmas tree with one cat on the top, one on the bottom, which, gave us a lot of chuckles and laughs. But it was just, I remember saying to my mom on the way to church on Christmas Eve that I never decorated for Christmas. And she said to me, and Christmas came anyway, didn't it?
Mm.
So anyway, I actually don't write all speculative fiction. This is contemporary nonfiction. There's a lot of stories in there. Michelle Rayburn puts these together. I guess she has a lot on her website. And somehow I saw the call for submissions. I don't even remember where I saw it. But anyway, I'm excited to be part of that.
Well,
and one of my favorite
congrats.
Christmas movies that's not your typical is The Man Who Invented Christmas, about how Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol. And my favorite part is where he's frustrated because none of his characters are doing what he wants them to do.
It is so real, isn't it?
Dude, I feel you.
Yes. Yeah, I love that part too, where they just are sort of invading his mind. And just like, I understand that.
Whether you want to or not, they're there.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that one. And I'm going to sort of circle back, since that was Dickens, and Norma talked about A Christmas Carol, which I have read once, and I was glad I did, and I need to read it again because it's a little different than all the adaptation. So it was fun to actually read the original. For one thing, he doesn't do chapters. How do you pronounce that word? Cantos. So it's like it's a Christmas carol. It's a song.
Oh, so he's got verses or stanzas instead of chapters.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I think he calls them cantos, Cantos, which I may be mispronouncing. But I had never known that before, so that was cool. So, I think in the chat you need to put your favorite Christmas adaptation, or the favorite adaptation of A Christmas Carol, so we can see with that, because there's so many, and one of my favorite is Mr. Magoo's Christmas. But
my husband
don't even know that one.
My husband did a a stage production of a radio adaptation.
Oh wow.
So like they were in a radio of
cool.
A Christmas Carol, and
How
he was
fun.
Scrooge.
Oh, how fun.
The Muppets Christmas Carol is fun too. So my favorite animated, of course, is Charlie Brown's Christmas. Love that. And then now, if you're a little worried, the fact that, this is not speculative, I am in a speculative anthology for Christmas, and I don't have it. They're coming in. I just ordered more because I sold them out at the last vendor event. Whitstead Christmas Tide. I'll put it in the
please do.
And so,
well, great. Well, congrats for both of those. That's wonderful to be in too. Yay. All right, Catherine Swartz.
Okay. I'm putting up the link first on my round. This is an older one and not an extremely well-known one, although some of you probably remember the 90s and the 52 Ways series from Nelson that was popular back then. This one stands out to me because it's divided into sections for making the most of Advent, Christmas and week, and Epiphany. titled A Season for Reflection, A Season for Celebration, and A Season for Giving. In other words, don't try to get your whole celebrations in before Christmas proper. And is there anyone who would like to try just being contemplative through Advent and doing older celebrations in the 12 days after Christmas?
Mm.
So, Ian Dargat's author was my favorite life hack writer from that decade. Just toss you off a few suggestions. By the way, it's printed in red ink for another additional Christmassy feel. Keep an Advent diary, take a winter nature walk, try an Advent fast, an Advent prayer book, a Messiah sing, lessons and carols, and daily prayer time during Advent. It's just a sampler. For celebrating Christmas, keep a manger scene central, make your own greeting card, see the lights, and here's something interesting. Look for the Christ child in the tragic moments.
Mm.
And especially for those who were disappointed in their hopes that God would give us a time off from problems for the December and Christmas. And for the season for giving, share your sweets, buy your gifts early, give a gift of an event or service or your time. And in conclusion, frame your New Year's resolutions in terms of giving and don't expect more than the holidays can give. You'll probably have to go to used books networks to buy that one now, but I think it's very much worth reading and sharing.
Is it available on Amazon? Did you check? Do you know?
Yeah.
If
I
it
just
is,
put-
yeah, if it is, put the link in the thing. Those seem like such practical suggestions too, which is really, really good.
I did, and maybe it is still in print. A list of availables include 5 new copies and all
Yeah, yeah.
used copies. And get this, someone is selling it as a collectible for almost $300.
You don't need that one.
That's what I see on Amazon Wick right now. And let's see, I thought I posted it. Yeah, here it is under the 10:23 a.m. time button.
Okay. Oh, you did post it? Okay, great. Great, great. Okay, so just for those who can't see the chat, Norma says that it's stave is the word, not canto, right? For the chapter. So I'm not sure what that word means, but I'm guessing it's a musical term.
I'm looking it up.
Oh, thank you. So we're just going to keep giving little tidbits about the Christmas Carol as we go throughout this whole episode, I think. Okay, Ben, your turn.
All right, unmute. I'll start off with what Pam already brought out. Our family, we have 5 kids that are now adults. They live out of the house, but they all live within about 10 miles of us. So they're actually coming tonight for supper to decorate. They love putting the ornaments that are special ornaments on the tree. And our tree, we have so many special ornaments that we don't have room for just general ornaments. But what Pam said was we watch 2 movies every year. One, that they have to be these 2 movies. We can watch other stuff, but Muppet Christmas Carol is always on the list. And it's more than just a fun. If you listen to it, it has, I love the one, the ghost of Christmas Past, that first ghost. And he says, so what are you after? And that ghost says, your salvation is what she says. And so it's really, really put together well. And I'm a sucker for music in presentation, so there's a lot of music in it as well. Fun stuff, but then even serious stuff. The other is even though our kids, I don't know why they like it, but Christmas Eve we always watch It's a Wonderful Life. That's just tradition. We've done that for 30 some years now. Instead of a favorite book, I'd like to share a favorite song that's probably not familiar to most people. Again, I like music. I don't know if you ever heard of the a cappella vocal band or AVB. Of course, they don't have music behind it, but it's called A Tiny Child. Um, I thought about maybe even singing it for you, but I don't know if I'll do that. I might sing the chorus because but I would like to read that. It starts, it says, a promise spoken in the beginning, a prophet's word in the night, an angel's message to a young lady, a brilliant star in the sky. Who could be coming? How would they know him? What's it all about? Why was he coming? Where is he going? When would they all find out? And the chorus is a tiny child, Almighty God, a tiny child, and Almighty God. The second verse, a lonely village, a lowly carpenter, no proper shelter in sight. There in a stable, manger, a cradle, angelic host on high. And then again, the chorus. The third verse, a little baby boy, the hope and peace of joy, a tiny beacon of light, divine creator became creation, his holy promise of life. And then songs have bridges in it. And the bridge is, came to the people, born of the people, so that the people could be free. Lived with the people, he blessed the people nailed him to a tree. Almighty, a tiny child, Almighty God, a tiny child, and Almighty God.
Wow. Thank you for that. That was very nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have been requested to find a YouTube version of it and put it in the chat. So if you are able to do that, we would love to see that. That's nice. Norma, Stave, tell us about it. Unmute. Sorry. There you go.
Sorry, I had minimized you guys for a minute. I looked it up. Good old Google, right?
Yep.
How did we survive before Google? Lots of trips to the library.
Yeah.
Basically, it's British, clearly. It's a music term. The first definition is staff, and the second is verse or stanza, as in she sang these three staves.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't know staff, those are the lines, set of lines on the music where the notes go.
Yeah.
That's the staff. And of course, verse and stanza, we get that. So.
Yeah.
Great. So
That is so cool. Yeah.
All the years I read it, Johnny, I never paid attention that it said stave and not chapter. So I learned something new from the book I've read for decades. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Again, that it's a Christmas carol, and that is what he chose to do. So it is like each chapter is like a song.
Stanza,
So
that's what they call it in the song.
That's really neat.
Yep, that's cool.
All right, Sophia has to go, and it was her turn, so we'll never know what Sophia
no.
share with us, unless you can do it real quick. Is she already gone?
She's gone.
She's gone. All right. Leslie says her favorite song is Silent Night. Does anyone else? Did I get everybody who's actually said? Oh, Catherine, I didn't see your name. I'm so sorry.
That's because I didn't put my name in there.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you said that, because I was like, I know I went through this.
And
right.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas is a children's book.
You're gonna have
it
to
is
spell that out in the in the chat. Emmett Otter, is that what you said?
Oh, you have never seen Emmett Otter? Oh my goodness. My heart fills for you. You have got to go watch it. It is the best movie on the planet. On the planet.
Otter. Okay.
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
All right, I'll look for it. Write a note.
It is my husband's #1 favorite movie. So we have it on DVD. And before then we watched it every year. And when I found the book in a estate sale, I couldn't help but get it for him for Christmas.
Aw.
So now we have the book and we have the movie. And yes, absolutely, y'all, seriously, I'm kind of mortified that y'all have never seen Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Be sure to put the link in for us.
Yeah.
Can't believe that.
Nope, never heard of it. All right. Anything else, Catherine?
We are definitely Peanuts fans. We are definitely Muppets fans. And we are White Christmas fans. We like musicals. But no Christmas movie is played in our house until after December 1st.
Oh, okay. So you got a couple days to go yet, right?
We give the turkey his due. And this
Here,
year,
here.
everybody was decorating for Christmas this year so early.
I
And
know.
I said, I made the suggestion for those who just have to decorate, why don't you put up a tree and every day write thanks, write a Thanksgiving, write a gratitude on a leaf and hang it on your tree for a fall decoration, for a Thanksgiving decoration.
But they don't want to do that. They want to put their Christmas things up. And what kills me is on December 26th, they take it all down and it's actually Christmas. Okay.
So
Second day of
this
Christmas
year,
and taking all your stuff down.
it inspired me so much that we put up a Thanksgiving tree, and when people came over, we encouraged them to add their Thanksgivings to the tree. And starting on December 1st, we'll put up our Advent calendar, we'll put up our Advent wreaths, and we will begin to take down the Thanksgivings and hold them up in prayer.
That's great. Yeah, I like that idea. That's very nice. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, Rachel's with us too. So I asked Leslie in the chat if you, I know you're not on video, but if you want to talk to us, please do, because you've got a lot of comments in there. Anybody else?
I can talk. I can
Okay.
share because I know I typed a lot. Christmas is my favorite holiday. So I always have a lot to share. I agree with Catherine about the Muppets. I love the Muppets, and Ben also mentioned that. And then the Emmett Jug Band Christmas. A lot of people don't know about that, but I love the theme behind it because it's the giving. You know, it's not having much to give, but then still being as a family. And I think a lot of people would relate to that this year with what's going on in our country. My family got to see Journey to Bethlehem over the weekend, which I highly recommend. It's the true Christmas story done as a musical. And if you know the band King, and for King and Country, the one brother is in the movie. He plays Herod's son. And there were some funny parts too, but I just cried. I mean, it just really showed everything that Mary went through and Joseph went through. And I think they really did a great job at showing the angels. They had a lot of sparkles in the sky and stuff. And but I highly recommend it. The sad thing is it came out a couple weeks before Thanksgiving. And because of all these Disney movies and things that are out, a lot of the theaters only having one showing left, and then they say it probably won't be in theaters after this week. So if you can see it, if you miss it, go into the theater and then try to see it on, I don't know if they put it on Netflix or PureFlix or Prime. I don't know if they will, but if you can see it, I highly recommend it. It was great. We also like the traditional ones, the White Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street's another one. I do like to watch Christmas specials too on TV. The ones that have music or have, singers doing it and just seeing what they do. As far as books go, I like 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, of course. the kids' books, and I really don't read that many Christmas novels, odd enough. I don't know why, just because I like it so much that I get into actually doing more than reading about it. So, um, and then I do like to listen to um, K Love's Christmas radio because it has songs that are either the traditional songs done differently or new Christian songs for Christmas. So you don't get tired of hearing Christmas music because everybody does the traditional ones all the time. So it's nice to have something new to listen to. So yeah, that's about it.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. So one more, Norma, you had more trivia.
I do. A Christmas Carol in 2021 turned 200. So there you go.
200
I'll
years
take
old.
a Christmas Carol for 200.
Johnny, I did post the YouTube to that song. So it's in there. You just have to see which post is YouTube. And I will say, one of the surprising books that I've read recently is Andy Clapp's Midnight Christmas Eve.
Oh,
If you've, I know Andy's been on here before,
yeah.
but a really good story to read if you look at Andy Clapp's Christmas book. I could I'll
Yeah.
probably reach around behind me and find it in the books, but it's really good. There's some of the books that you read from people. It's amazing, people that I know and I read, and then that book is a Hallmark classic type of movie book that a movie needs to be made out of that book. And it's Midnight Christmas Eve is really good.
All right. Well, that's another one then. If you can find it on Amazon, put it in the chat too. I'm going to share one more book. It's one I've been promoting because I know one of the authors, A Louisiana Christmas to Remember. And this was kind of born out of, I guess a year or two ago, somebody was looking for Christmas books in different states and couldn't find anything in Louisiana. So these three authors are from Louisiana and they've written novellas that intertwine with one another. And it was really good. I read it just recently. Morgan Tarpley Smith, some of you may recall, she was on here to talk about time slip stories several months ago. And this is actually her debut. It's a novella, but debut fiction. So real proud of Morgan. She was like one of the first, she was actually my very first fan, a person who reached out to me and loved my Where Treasure Hides, that wasn't family or somebody who knew me. So Morgan and I go back a long ways, and she's just a dear, sweet girl. So happy to share her book, and I'll get that link up there too. Brandy, you got anything you want to share? Good to see you here.
Sorry, I'm feeling a little under the weather today.
I
I don't really have any books because I've never been one to read Christmas stories around Christmas time. I don't know why. It's just something that never really interested me. However, I do love the Santa Claus series of movies. They're speculative fiction with Tim Allen. They're just fun. And last year, they actually, I don't remember what, I don't know if it was a Netflix thing or what, but they actually made a series on the Santa Claus movies, which I just absolutely love because I just love the whole world that is created. So that's just one of my favorite things. Johnny, you've muted yourself.
Okay, well, I was looking up the link, so I wasn't, I knew you guys could see me, but I couldn't see you. Anyone else want to share? I asked that, but I don't know if there was any answers. So Rachel Colby, I'm going to call on you since you popped on video.
I knew I should have stayed off.
Yeah. But here you are, and I'm sure you've got something to tell us. You've got a book or a movie or a song that you love for Christmas.
Well, probably one of my favorites. I don't know. I tend to have a lot of favorites, but songs probably Oh Holy Night. Um, I I'm working on a blog post for Christmas. I'm trying to figure out whether I should just pick one thing I have of Christmases past, or if there's a way to weave them together, the stories together. But I'm looking forward to seeing, I put it in the chat, the movie by I Heard the Bells. It's about Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I don't know if you've seen the previews. I can stick the link in the chat if you'd like, because it came out last year, but I never got to go see it.
Yeah, please
so.
drop the link.
Yeah, please do. I
Yeah.
wanted to see that last year too, and never got around to it, and then forgot about it.
Yeah,
So thanks
so
for reminding us of
I
that
think
one.
I'm gonna probably make a date with my mother-in-law, go over there and watch it with her. So, well, I don't know if you saw it in the chat. I had asked if anyone had seen the poem by Gil Derman, adapted from Stephen Bell's The Night Before Christmas. It's 'Twas the Night Before Christ Came. If you guys have ever seen that poem.
I don't think I have.
Well, I could read it if you'd like, but I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
If it's not real long, yeah, please go ahead.
Well, it's long, but I mean, I guess, I don't know if it's long. It's a page, so whatever that is.
Okay.
It's
Not
a
20
page.
minutes though, right?
No, it's one page and it's a poem. So
Okay.
it's not like, it doesn't fill the page. "'Twas the Night Before Christmas Came, but Before Christ Came" by Gil Derman, adapted from the poem by Stephen Bell. "'Twas the night Christ came, and all through the house, not a person was ready, not a child or spouse. The Bible been left on the shelf without care, because who would have ever thought Christ would appear? December'd been busy with shopping and stuff. Our schedules were hectic, our budget was tough. But somehow we'd done it, once again we'd survived, just hours before Christmas morning arrived. The children had long ago crawled into bed, not one ever kneeling or bowing a head, while Mom in her rocker with babe in her lap watched late night TV while I took a nap. When out of the east there arose such a clatter, I fell off the couch saying, 'Now what's the matter?' Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and lifted the sash. When what to my red blood-shot eyes did appear, but angels proclaiming that Jesus was here. The light from his face made me cover my head. It was him, and he'd come back just like he'd said. Eternity's book in his hand was displayed, and written inside was everyone saved. With a confident tone, he read through each name, but when mine was not mentioned, my head hung in shame. Then he gathered together those purchased in love, and with power and honor he took them above. I was numb, I was shocked as they rose without sound, leaving us and our Christmas tree here on the ground. In panic I cried out, 'Don't go, please just wait.' But I knew in my heart that it was too late. 1,000 times over I'd said, 'Next time I might,' but who could have known that he'd come tonight? I awoke, my heart racing. I'd only been dreaming, but the message he left me had a very clear meaning. The tree and the lights, the food and the fun were supposed to remind me to look to God's Son. For he is the reason the season brings joy. He is the one who loves each girl and boy. And just like he came when the stars shine so bright, he'll return unexpected. It could be tonight." So let's remember to share Jesus with
I
those
have one kind of like
this season.
So for the life, it's my old blog, and for the life of me, I've forgotten my own blog's old title. But I did do one called "The Night Before the First Christmas." I think it was December 2021, retelling the Christmas story to the pretty much the same rhythm and beat as the gospel story, as the Night Before Christmas poem, I mean.
Yeah. So anyway, so hopefully
I'm excited that I finished up our Christmas Eve service. Pastors got it now, but God had put on my heart the theme is seeking, because we see those signs that say wise men still seek him, and like, and what does that really mean? And I started going through scriptures of when Jesus was alive, who was seeking him when he was born, besides the Magi, and besides the shepherds, of course, which I talk about. But Simeon and was in the temple looking for him.
Mhm.
His parents sought after him when he was 12 years old, and then all the deaf, the mute, the blind, etc., sought after him for healing. And the Pharisees sought after him to trip him up. Judas brought a mob seeking after him so they could arrest him and kill him. All these different ways that people sought Jesus. And the question to the congregation is, when we seek Jesus, who do we expect to find? The baby or the king? Because all of these people sought after him, and as the king. And I'm thinking Christmas, it's about baby Jesus and all. And I can't find any scripture that talks about seeking after a baby. They all were even the Magi. Who is he who's been born King of the Jews? And just, it was so interesting, all the research to put it all together. And it was one of those things where I didn't know how to start it. And I ended up just sit down and start writing. And it all just came, and I feel really good about it. And I hope that it, blesses the congregation. Like, do we now, when we're now seeking, who are we seeking? How are we seeking him? And to seek his face, and what that meant. I didn't know what that meant. I've been trying to seek his face for years, but no man may see my face and live. So what do we do, right? And it talks about in Hebrew, when it talks about seeking face, your face is your presence. And I went, oh, I can do that. I can seek his presence, now and to come, waiting. We're seeking him as Christians. We're to look up, our redemption is near. We're seeking him all the time. And just, it was so good. I was so blessed to be able to write it. And at the same time, I just ordered Emmett Otter's Christmas. I'm just
You're not
saying,
the only one. Norma has too. She says it's in her cart. So
Yep,
people are ordering
it's
Emmett
on its way already.
Doug Band Christmas.
Yeah.
So
It
thank you,
will warm,
Catherine.
it will warm your heart. And it is a Jim Henson production.
Uh-huh.
So it is puppets and music. And the music is going to be music you'll be singing all year long.
All right.
I'll put my
Anybody-
agree
review of
with
it on our Facebook page.
Okay. Who
I
else?
agree with
have to-
Catherine. It is a great one. And
Oh, Leslie.
Pam, you should put that in a book, the sermon. That
Yeah.
would be a great book. And you could just call the book Wise Men Seek Him. I mean, that would be a great Christmas book to put out.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll see, because I've done 3 or 4 services, because not just a sermon, it's the whole service. And I've been able to pair up Christmas carols, some of our traditional carols, and then talking about seeking him, going and finding him. And last year I did all the different names of Jesus and what those names meant, and actually what do names mean and how important they are to God. And then when I looked at all the Christmas carols and how many of them have his names in there, it was just so good. I love to do that, because I love how I'm not sure what I'm going to write, and I wait and read scripture and say, well, Lord, what do you want to say through me? And I don't want that to sound like, oh, that's all Christian-y and tacky, but really, Lord, what do you want to say through me? How can I write it in my way that's going to bless my congregation? So yeah, that was
I
nice.
agree with Leslie. I think it would make a great devotional, because you've already said, all these different groups or people, individuals. So it's like, yeah. And then he said, we seek a king and the baby, but then, people were seeking a criminal, and we don't often think of that as but yeah. And there are still today who are
right. And the women
criminal.
who went to the tomb, they were seeking
Yeah.
a dead body.
Yeah.
The living Lord, just, there was so much that I wasn't even thinking about Christmas Eve when I started to write it. And then it was like a brain dump, and I couldn't type. I couldn't type fast enough. So I wrote it out, which I couldn't write, but it came out better when I was handwriting it. And then I shifted over, and put in, but
What a blessing, and what a gift that you have to be able to do that for your congregation. I mean, that's big. So,
thank you.
I agree. I think you should do a book, and you can always in there say, something along the lines of, when I presented this in my church, we sang this carol with it,
Oh,
or
okay.
this
Yeah.
carol
Mhm.
pairs well with this.
Oh, yeah, there's
Mhm.
ways to do that.
Yeah, yep,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
most of the carols are public domain anyway, right?
Yeah,
So I can mention
probably.
them without a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to think about that.
Yep,
Thanks.
I agree.
All right. Yes, Rachel.
Just a little bit of like my masses of scribblings on Christmas that need to become something, some of which are already out there. It's let's not become so trapped in the trappings of culture that we forget to laud Christ the King this Christmas. Come, let us adore him, enthrone him in our hearts and lives. How can we show love this time of year without buying gifts? Spend yourself, spend focused time with others, lend a listening ear, show compassion, be a friend, see the need, lighten the load, and as God leads.
Very good
That's
advice.
good.
Very, very good advice. All right. Does anyone else have a Christmas book, song, movie they want to? The chat is filled with stuff. So I will, Melissa's not here. She usually does this. I will make sure this chat gets update or uploaded to the group, because there are so many links, and y'all might, want to do those. Check some of those out. All right. If nothing else, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up. Next week is kind of a different, again, little different episode. Brandy, Melissa, and I in Writers Chat Fiction did mentor text. So we did that like once a month, right? So it took the whole episode for Writers Chat Fiction, which actually lasts longer than Writers Chat does, doesn't it, Brandy? It's like almost 2 hours. So we're going to shorten what we presented in those to talk about mentor text. So what we're going to be doing is bringing a piece of writing, either our own writing or someone else's writing, just to show different aspects of writing. Like I think I did openings and kind of like voice. So I'll do one of those. Then Brandy was doing short stories, and she's also done one on humor. So I'm not sure which one she's going to go with, but it was so good. And Melissa did historical and read to us in a fantastic accent in her story. And it was so fun to hear her reading it. So, we're going to talk about just how you can like look at a text and actually dig into it, and then use what you learn to help you write your own, story, not plagiarizing, none of that, but, just to get that feel for it. So we'll see how it works. It may be the greatest thing ever. It may totally bomb, but, we'll see how it goes. And then the week after that will be the last time that we meet this year. And it's pretty much just open mic. It will not be recorded. And we're just going to talk about, your year, talk about the year to come, just have it sort of be whatever y'all want to talk about, and kind of Christmas related, but also into the year related. So that's what's coming up. And we already have people and guests scheduled for 2024. So that's really exciting. And yeah, we're on the ball with that. So that's really good. So just appreciate your prayers as we continue to fill up that calendar and reach out to people and try to bring you content that's really helpful to you in your writing journey. So saying that, if you are watching us on the replay, know that we would love to have you join us any Tuesday at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. Go around the globe. And you can find all of our episodes on the Serious Writer YouTube channel. We have a playlist there, or on our Writers Chat Facebook page, or in the Writers Chat Facebook group, which you are more than welcome to join. So with all of that, I will say goodbye and stop the recording, and we'll see y'all next week.